It sure does. Okay, does the keyboard work? Administrator password. I should have it. The keyboard isn't connected. It should be connected. Ja u principu dok ovo sve radim, ja sam ugasio internet, router i sve te stvari. I ovo su sad te igrice, znači u principu ovo je Windows, zato kad nemam druge ništa, da budem siguran. I ovdje sam namjerno izbjegavao neke opcije, poput recimo, znači on tu već prepoznaje dva, ali dobro, ako se on zove Workstation Live, dobro, ajde, tu ću čak i poizgovno, ali ništa ne ide po defaultu, sve ide, moram ja sam ovo persistent partition size, to se stavio 5 GB, zato kad je program 3, i uglavnom kad god bilo, nisam mu čak ni dopustio s interneta skida ove neke, ajmo reći, hoće mi dati tu izvješće, ne, ali ovaj event, to je mi fakat mi čudan, znači, ima previše tih nekih, znači, dobro, sticam ovo tu, ali, ovo je još okej. Evo recimo, on forca ova gruba ovog Gilson, znači znam što je. Čekaj, di smo? Znači ovdje tu nisam siguran kaj bi mislio. Ova balena je retardirana. I ovi ISO su svi u principu AMD. Znači čekaj, daj me gdje bi i ti, znači radi hash text, znači u principu jesu nekakvi kodovi, ali svi su AMD-ovi, nesto mi je taj jebeni Gparted, ovaj tu Debian, znači ovaj Linux, AMD 64 net install, ovo nije 100% čobrvin stavio, nema mrtve šanse. Linux tijelo je ok, ali moram ih s tim njihovim kretenarijama koji mi guraju, znači guraju mi te svoje jebene formate, ko recimo u Ventoju, kaj moraš, znači Ventoju sad di je, ne, recimo, više sam ga čak zaključao, koliko mi bi odvrtano. Da, zaključao sam ga. Da. Ma kaj si, kaj bi tu trebao pogledati ovo, mock manager, znači to mrzim ga. Mmijet, njega sam isto primijetio, znači ovo tu su stvari koje meni preuzimaju kontrolu, ja ne mogu, evo sve kaj caps lockom, to je brijem to. Znači to je uvijek je caps lock jebeni, ne znam zake, ali vjerojatno i caps, znači ja imam i hidden file, to se isto vidi, znači imaju isto sve te podupla, znači ovo je previše toga, ovo nemaš smisla, niša, System volume information, to uvijek ne znam zake mi ga gura, ali nećemo ga izbrisati, desktop, ovdje, u ovom dijelu, šta si ti lude? Kaj je ovaj, kaže, are you sure you want to delete, to, da vidimo kaj je to, desktop configuration, ma neka. Dobro, ovo je tu security kurac, boli me briga, uglavnom, odvrtanje i je još uvijek zaključen, je, znači zip ga stavljam ako mu ne vjerujem. Opa, di smo, empty. Ima vas već ih znam na pamet udarati. Možda neće raditi, ali mogu instalirati opet. Ok, ovo mi čeka konflikte, i ovo radim jako sporo. Uopće nije počeo pisati, niti ću vjerojatno uspjeti zapisati. Portable je 5 GB, to ćemo testirati u FAT, ne znam, uglavnom 1.2, pa ćemo zajedno. Response from the keyboard, because this receiver for TV, it has internet, it has HDMI, this is connecting those two, and this USB isn't allocated and mounted, so he's communicating via internet via this receiver. And did you see? So this I couldn't get even. Okay, he doesn't have a hard disk, but I don't think. Let's put the bootable drive. Maybe there is a command for a direct boot, but maybe I won't need it. Let's see. But I will find a way. If they had mounted it, I can do it remotely. Bam. Let's try. F2. We'll find a way. Okay, here is also on channel 7. I don't have a receiver, and I have also SCART and antenna drive, and I will use this to put the signal in audio and send it that to a mixer or whatever. So basically these circumstances forced me to do more labor. I couldn't call it work. The only thing which is guaranteed that I will gain more knowledge, but I will try to be able to take control, and I will do it by using more parts which will trigger the signal for the computer to receive the key for booting. This is like for now just a jammer for USB, because here used to be the SD card, but the SD card has here an interface SD card. So in BIOS bootwise, this means that it will be booted like an USB, but everything which is mounted like a physical part, this is display, this is keyboard, this is a touchpad, because they have like a boot on or wake on. I have to, even though I don't have the sensor and SD card there, I have the port, and the port is recognized, I think, in BIOS, and I have to, and the Wi-Fi antenna as well. Here there is a Wi-Fi antenna, but here I have a very analog like signal, very old, and I can use this as well, which is like Morse code, very high pitch. This speakers are actually, if I will be able, that's at least all, this is just a concept, but because I had in the booting itself, I had this networking installations, which where when you want to go manual, you're not able to obtain the kernel code. Kernel code is synchronized with time. This has nothing to do with time, so I depend on those two, because one is going there and the one is going here, and this is the lock, and here I can program the main operating system. Has double way communication here, HDMI. If you notice, it looks like good, but what's the point here? Its point is to make a lot of noise, because this is video and audio signal as well, and I don't know by default before BIOS if the ports are able to receive signal, but mainly you have just MIDI output, not MIDI output, HDMI output, because they're sending to the it's called HDMI, like monitor input. It's no input, it's sending out. It doesn't receive anything. It shouldn't receive any signal. It just needs to send signal, and this is like a real analog jammer, and those speakers should I should program it so that it will produce noise. It will have the communication all the time. If somebody tries to do anything with video or with audio, because those are the only ports with audio, there is no audio otherwise. There is no I don't have any headphone input nowhere. I don't know how it's not on this board, but I didn't do it. You can see there is no hard disk. So this here was the hard disk, and those wires were prioritized. When you go boot, it goes directly to this switch where the M2 SSD used to be. But now I change it to go directly to the USB. So hopefully I will be able to override somehow this kernel shit and make a key which is really static, because this networking is really making a fool out of kernel code, because it has to be a static key. If it's not, then it's not secure. Here it's static. If I, for instance, take this and put it here, or this and put it there, this action has to be, you cannot program something like this, or swap it, or intervene, I don't know, but I'm not able to, with the systems I have. I didn't spend any money nor intend to spend any money on this, but here I have also video signaling and SCART. So this is the main hypothesis. This is my version of a network, which doesn't include internet, even though this has Wi-Fi, but it's really old machine, and if it works, great, but if it doesn't work, at least I have something to learn and gain more knowledge, and it's more labor than work, but you have to keep your mind occupied what to do if you don't have any work, but we'll see. HP now. This is the USB, and here is the operating system. It's not installed, it's just, I'm just using it. But this is this device. Let me show you. So I'm now formatting the hard drive, which also has more partitions, and I didn't do them. And this is this block device mapper, then squash tool, then has like a loop device. So this is in my USB. I didn't put it there, I was with a friend. After that it's in there, and G part isn't here anymore, so everything has to be formatted now, because it's starting from the USB itself. It wasn't like this until a few days ago. So now, from now on, I will never give anybody to use my computer for anything. I don't give a shit. So I'm erasing this. Maybe I will keep some partitions. I will format this somewhere else, because I don't have ownership, even though I own the USB. But for now it's no problem, because there's no internet, and this is like a machine which is working without an operating system, directly from the stick. The only thing is that this Anaconda, or whatever it is, I cannot format it, but I have another tool to do that. So keep in mind that you cannot protect your USB. Maybe you can protect your computer, but not vice versa. So that's like really stupid, and I know what happened, and it wasn't on purpose, but that's how it is. Yeah, I hate computers. So now this is the HP, which was really tampered with, and has parts which I will try to explain and explore. The battery, everything is basically, the parts are similar as this one, which now it is the battery, but it isn't booting. That's another problem. So now I will try to go into the section of this, because there are already some parts like this and this, which aren't supposed to meet anywhere with the motherboard or with a hard disk, and don't. And the other funny thing is, the main so this is the display, this is the power and connection for the display, and this, I don't know who put it like this. It's really like you see, it's like really bad job. And this was going directly with this, if you can see it, directly with this to the Wi-Fi, to the here where it's connecting, and this was mounted on the motherboard. Here was the Wi-Fi card, and here was a CD, and here everything else. The hard disk was going here, and the power supply, when you put it on, here is the network adapter. Here is like a small button. This button connects to the keyboard. So if you press on, it doesn't have any lever. It has to have a counter to push this button. So when it does push that button, it will trigger basically the networking part and those sorts of bridges, which were all from the same company and has nothing to do with the motherboard or other parts. It's all from, I won't mention the name, but there is no way that you can use this motherboard before the network does. So you see, this really pisses me off because this battery is fitting with this connector, but here we can see the Wi-Fi antenna. I never seen any motherboard on a laptop. I didn't have regular computers, anything with an angle on a PCB. So this, I cannot explain this. It's always 90 degrees angles. I know they didn't have place, but this wasn't supposed to be. This CD, okay, everything which is in 90 degrees, I understand. This is the keyboard. This is mouse, display or something like that. This is the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi here, it's like in every other computer. You have like plus minus and you have to attach it somewhere like here. Here the only Wi-Fi connection which I have is this. Like, what the fuck is this? It's going, I didn't disattach the screen, but here's the camera, so I need to see what's behind this, because there isn't any plus minus. So where is the ground? Where is the circuit being finished, and how does it work? Either way, I would like to combine those two computers into one, but I don't know how to write BIOS or which programs to use for write BIOS. But I hope, because there's still 5 partitions which are hidden partitions in doing this networking shit, and I hope they will find a way to connect those two computers, and when they do, then I will start pulling them out and keeping what I can or learning what I can. Good thing is the hard disk, this shit will be used in this computer, and this will have no hard disk for now. And I'm also thinking about skipping the RAMs out everywhere and then borrowing memory from ports, as I did with SD reader and so forth. Correct myself, because I forgot to say, this one, which is the keyboard, it's always in an angle, and the touchpad could also be, I need to see, like, see, sometimes the touchpad, but the ports, the physical ports which have some sort of recognizable storage on the motherboard. So this is for the keyboard, but this, which is for the Wi-Fi, this shouldn't be like this. And do you have like this M2X freeze? It's basically this for the hard disk. Those are loop and blocking devices and squash devices. So if the M2X3 is here, everything which will be here is virtual and is being transcended via those connectors, which are all from the same company besides this. So the motherboard is original. Okay, I'm not that sure about the motherboard, but the hard disk is original and the RAMs are original. Everything else is from one company, and I would like to I could use internet, but when I use internet, they have they gain they can gain entry, so I have to avoid or I choose to avoid being online, because offline I cannot explain it. So it seems that this Wi-Fi isn't the only thing via air or Bluetooth which is communicating. My opinion is that it works something like radio, that some resistors have or chips, I don't know, processors have a frequency, like let's say Wi-Fi has 2.4G, 5G. G means, I guess, megahertz. So if my processor is, I don't know, 1.6 gigahertz, like the Cinnamon one, like the Acer one, then uh, I'm already in the range from internet, because it goes from 800 megahertz. So if I can use it as a tuning fork, I can communicate without amplifier even over long distances, like a quartz crystal. Only it has to be somehow tuned to the same channel, so that I'm not able to monitor it. But the only way out here is to fool the system with making it go in a way which it won't understand, or to write the BIOS myself, which I would prefer. But now I'm at the point where I cannot even go to my friends, because they're the only one which this, whatever this is, can use and is using, and unfortunately I cannot tell whether this mode will be triggered in my friends when I have anything to do with them. I made a mistake, but it's a mistake you cannot avoid. The only thing I'm really absolutely certain is, whoever this is, it's not me, and he's really, really frustrated, and he's really bitter, and really angry, and really unable to talk to himself. So in psychiatry they would call it like what's it called, like when you have personality disorder or something like that. But here it's the thing that this person hasn't met himself, either out of fear, either out of ignorance, either out of not having the tools to do that, or not even being the person, because he maybe, as I said, overtook somebody else's persona, and without being holistic as a person, you cannot even go to that point, because it doesn't it includes a lot of play. And if you don't know how to play, if nobody learned you how to play, and playing is actually the opposite of having a choice, true, false, or deny, allow. So whoever this is, maybe you will sabotage me, or you will gain more time, whatever it is, but you will never be able to understand emotions and playing. And that's why I pity you very much, man. I wish I could help you, but I don't have time for this, you know. I don't have time for you. So on every laptop, basically, if you have like a power supply, I tried to switch the power supply from USB to motherboard, because this one is going directly to the motherboard to trigger the powering of the unit. Here, this is the first time where I saw this. This is like, this is the power, and this was going, I think it was going to the motherboard. But this isn't, this doesn't look too promising for something. I don't know. For me, it's just awkward, you know. Some things, because this HP laptop is 456 I've seen, and every time it's getting worse and worse. So now both are stripped. This is the old one, basically simpler version of the another one without this third-party hardware. Even more RAMs. This looks simple and the real. The backboard here, so the connector for power is the same, just a little bit longer, and everything else is basically similar besides this display, because the display, this one looks decent, this one looks factory. This is, we have a plus and minus. I don't know why they use this, and this doesn't go through the display at all. This goes directly here, and this is the display. I guess, I assume, because this the other one isn't like that. The other one, where is it? Where's the other one? This other one, this goes directly to the camera, and then it goes back here. Look at the difference. Look at, and it's like what the fuck, this. So look, those wires, look at this, look at this, chewed up. So let's try work something out. So basically what I found out about those parts, because I want to avoid using two keyboards and I want to connect them, so this network shit will try to connect both of those by trying to find those parts. And when I was examining those parts which I didn't understand, because I was looking for extra ports to connect the two motherboards, and it is always dedicated to the hard disk M2. The shitty part about this thing is that not when I have switch 1 when I put it on by power, but here you can, it's like switch 4 and switch 3, and you can hear it, and it's like it has a reaction, you know. I have music now playing, but it's a button, you know. So those these are two bypass mechanisms. So my power on doesn't do shit if this is on, but this is the only way I can connect these two motherboards, and I will do this. And this is the scary part. This is the really scary part. This is basically a clock, a time clock, and it starts here. So you can see the year is 2040 here. And it communicates time. 2018 made, 2040 dead. So I'm actually heavily relying on the imprinted code, this repository code in the partitions, which I'm not able to access, and I'm relying on this hardware that it's automated and that it won't recognize that the user isn't who it's supposed to be. This is the hard disk, this is the dedication for switching on, this is the time for them, this is the motherboard from them, but this will go here, and the connection through this and through those SD ports and some other things, which there I have two power supplies. I want to use two monitors, but I want to use only one keyboard. So I need to connect the keyboard to both those, and I need to tell this one switch 3, switch 4 needs to go at both motherboards at the same time, but I have two connectors here. So I don't know I want to have this not on one on or the other, but I want to have it in between. So I have here data and power, and I can use this to power it with one motherboard, but I have to either write it myself then, or to rely that it will auto write or already is written. So I disassembled totally the first monitor, and basically this is how it looks like. This thing, which was going to the Wi-Fi antenna, here it seems that it's really an antenna which doesn't have a ground. So I don't know. The other thing was, I guess this is the camera, and this was going both to the port which is connecting to the motherboard. This here, of course, you can see there are no barcodes or anything. There are thousands of them. I put them all out. Here is the connector which is going from this one, and it's all already doing some translation. So that seems fine. At least I have to see now, why does this have two? Why does this have a ground, and why does this have this only antenna thing? So basically the second one, the second monitor, has also the camera, and the display port is really prioritized to put the camera signal up front your display. Usually when you have like Wi-Fi antenna network card, one is plus, one is minus. At least I thought so until I saw this one, which works with only one cable. And now when I opened it, I saw that this has basically two VLAN. Each cable is for one Wi-Fi, and one is for you, and one is for your somebody who is watching you and your monitor. And so these are actually two signals simultaneously bypassing everything. So now I have three Wi-Fi antennas. This looks like a Wi-Fi antenna, at least, in contrast to this one, which was looking like a RF antenna. So I actually don't know if this is a custom job, if this was tempered with, or if it's regular, like a factory build, where you have two Wi-Fi signals, which one you are not aware of and don't have control of, and if the controller doesn't have control, you cannot boot. The other one functions via this network shit, where he bridges the switch, and via this bridge he connects to an RF source, and then from the RF source networks connections. So or if it's not an RF, because it is going to the Wi-Fi, not to the Wi-Fi, it's not the Wi-Fi we saw, the Wi-Fi, it's a network card, and this antenna, I wouldn't be surprised if I could catch television with it, you know, like a radio. Whichever it is, whatever it is, it was going, by powering, it was taking over the display and the camera, among everything else. But we humans tend to have this, like, we're used to having this visual feedback when we put on power that the screen turns on, and it's supposed, this time, this delay, it's supposed to feel natural, to make us feel private, because it is a personal computer. It is not an unpersonal computer, which it is, obviously. Not anymore. Now I have a cake. I have seen also PCs from the shop, they're not much different from this one. Basically, I'm not using Ventoy anymore because of the group 2 and some boot options, and not even using the ISO. So trying one by one, this Rufus seems the most dedicated, even though there's a lot of options which I didn't even know about, and it's all boot options for BIOS, and I made multiple partitions. I will play with that, so see if it will be good. But here at least I was able to circumpass the some sort of recognition via booting. By ISO it is hard to avoid because you need some sort of decoder, either DOS or something else. But here when you go not ISO but other disk image, no, not file copy, then you have he can check the disk and even do the validation on booting on the other device. So let's hope it will work. But this is the only Linux Cinnamon 60 which is clean. All others are AMD for the processor, which was there, with the other files which were really contaminated, and Ventoy, there is no way of avoiding it. So now it's MBR, maybe GPT I will see. I don't know how it will work out, but basically this is the only mount where I can go directly to BIOS, but the file system is for Windows, which is also good because FAT32 basically is the format which everybody recognizes, and that is not good in this case. Znači on u principu tek je počeo pisati tako što je napravio sve te provjere i ovaj Rufus mi se čini dosta dobar. Iako kažem, moramo sad vidjeti. Znači u principu ja sam imao bootable device na kojem on čitao je bio moj multiple disk, njih je provjeravao, a sad mi, znači ja imam 5 diskova koje sam napravio, odnosno nisu diskovi, nego su u principu ok, start, ajmo vidjeti, znači on misli sad će mi dati, ok, znači, ajmo vidjeti, znači samo mi njega dao, write to ISO mode, write to DD mode, čekaj, je li to gotovo ili nije? Ja mislim da sam to napravio, ili imam ja close, imam. Close, ajmo mi vidjeti da se to promijenilo. Zaki sad on nevidljiv. Ne da mi ono, ne znam zaki mi ne da vidjeti. Neka čudno. Znači, sad dolaze ono u igru nove gluposti. Zapravo, bit će to zabavno ono jednom kad se malo odmorimo od ovoga i kad nađem neku drugu okupaciju. Sad imam te dijelove. Sad moram naučiti ono kaj sad mene pitaju u tim programima. Sad se počelo pojavljivati, znači prije smo imali ono FAT32 koji je svima vidljiv i prepoznatljiv, ali to je isto tako ranjivo. Onda imaš NFTS kaj je za Windows. Sad u novim Windowsima uopće ne možeš formatirati u FAT32 nego u XFAT. XFAT je nešto drugo. Onda imaju još druge, imaju sad aktivne vrste particija, znači u principu da li ćeš imati table ili ćeš imati dinamički koji ti se može zapisivati pa ko nekakav recovery sa repozitorija se dizati. Istovremeno nije više dovoljno imati ISO, mislim nikad nije bilo dovoljno, ali ovdje sad imaš 1000 opcija i ono ti kaže ono da moraš, kao prvo neki ti kaže da moraš s interneta, a ovaj Ventoj ti gura ove svoje koje sam ja provjereno vidio da ono, mislim, čak i piše tamo kad ih čitaš, imaš ih ono milion i onak sad ti trebaš pogoditi koje valja, koje ne valja. Te ekstenzije, to su Linux ili šta već, kakve su to ekstenzije. I sad, da li ćeš ti, u kojem ćeš tom jeziku, da li će biti FreeDOS, MS-DOS, da li će biti taj neki Singlinx koji je popularan, ovo ono. I ono, da li ćeš, ako će recimo moći biti, na primjer, za UEFI i za boot, a druga ti je ono bez nekakvog drugog kurca, ono. I sad, ono, i onda dolje još ono, više ne znam, ono, najrađe bi si napisao svoj neki, ono, i boko. I ovdje, i ovaj to isto mi sumnjivo, ono, fakat, i nema ovog G-parta da kad mi čomor stavio, to mi čudno, a kopirao sam sve. I odjednom se pojavile sve, ono, ARMD verzije, ono, mislim, ARMD, za moj AMD, ono, prilagođene, ono, Group 2 varijante koje, ono, ulaze. I ne da niš drugo, ono, a ovo ostalo uopće, bilo šta nije za AMD nema, mislim, možda je to namjerno, ali ima svega i nije samo AMD. Mislim, ja sam sad počeo ono, mislim, sve što mi je sumnjivo, mislim da bi moglo trebati, što bi se moglo aktivirati, to ide ono zipano, original onda brišem, na mobitelu i na ekranu. Ako mi se otvori neki prozor koji ja nisam sam otvorio, tipa baterija će vam se uskoro ugasiti, tipa i onda ti da OK ili X, ja stisnem na pozadinu ili uopće ne stisnem, tipa da li želite dopustiti, uopće ne diram nešto što ja sam nisam otvorio, osim ako fakat prvi put ne butam neku aplikaciju recimo Android, ali na Windowsima i to, ili nigdje, nije mobilno, znači ja nikakav OK, nigdje ni cancel, ništa. To mi ono iskače, sad sam počeo to raditi i više ne vjerujem točno ono, mislim, dođe mi sad ono, kada i napiše nešto ovaj, vjerujem da je suprotno neko što kaj kažu, do te razine im vjerujem. A fakat i ne bi trebalo vjerovati, bar ne ovim, ono koji stave 1000 antena i ono butabilni glupost. Sad se ja skužio na ovom tu iz Pawn Shopa, onaj Switch 2 i Switch 3 koji ide preko SD kartice, zašto se mounta na SD karticu i zašto Switch 2 i Switch 3 preuzimaju kontrolu kod butanja, i zašto grupa može funkcionirati. Sad ću ja fino napraviti da ću ja to ko nokte, jer to je fizički, to se mora stisnuti, ne, ja ću to sad, možda i ne mora, ali ja ću prvo to, ja ću ga fino odrezati, tako da ga ne reš stisnuti, pa ćemo vidjeti. Skužio sam na YouTube-u isto ono, ne piše više datum kad je nešto objavljeno, tipa prije 2 dana, prije 3 dana, prije 2 mjeseca, prije godinu dana, prije 3 godine. To mi isto ono smrdio. Ovo je jedini kompjuter koji ima Windows i jedino što imam tu na desktopu su shortcuti za X32, ono, za staru bitnu verzije kontrol panela ulaza, ono, za provjeravanje ovaj svoj disk file manager da vidim ono, jel je bolje od Windowsa i ponekad točniji. I nikakve gluposti, ono, kad su pitanju Windowsi, onda sve ono mora biti moje i vidljivo, inače ne vjerujem. Ali mu piše odmah ovaj squash i live, znači ovo tu kad pričam, znači 2 GB sranja mi piše ono. I ovaj grup, ne. To će sad biti nevidljivo, pa ja ću ga sad baš u disk treba otvoriti. Jer ono u principu ja njemu ne, znači, one device found, ready. Ako što meni je rekao gotov ili nije, evo, device je našao ovaj. Dobro. Kaj ću ja sad u njemu promijeniti to? 4000, evo, DFS, quick format, ništa, ovo ono, jedan pas. Znači, on je meni sad stavio i njega promijenio, ne? Znači, ja sad njega otvorim ovdje i to ću napraviti ako uspijem. Sad ćemo vidjeti kako će njega prepoznati, da li će prepoznati te particije, 5 particija bi trebalo biti, 4. Ok, znači ovo ja nisam radio, ne, da vidimo šta je stavio. NTFS2, koliko je zauzeto? Malo je zauzeto, ali nešto je zauzeto. Ovo je taj X3/8, da vidimo šta je to. Bar znamo šta je. Koja je vrsta to? To još ne vidim. Ja bi to mogu formatirati, tako ja to formatiram. Išao je recimo FAT12, znači ja ovo tu, ja ne znam kako naprave te formate, ono, ne. Zašio, ovo je tako, ne. Uglavnom, ovdje se događaju neke gluposti, ono. Ja bi ovo naređe izbrisao, ali onda mi neće pokrenuti uopće, ono. Ali ćemo vidjeti. Ajmo vidjeti sad ovdje tu. Kaj kaže, volume label, format options, to je taj. Kaj drugo nudi, ništa ni ne nudi. Ovo to bi mogo biti, ono, NTFS. Stavit ću FAT. Sad ću ga promijeniti. 16 KB default, kako ste gluposti, brzo ćemo mi njega. Znači, to create extended label and icon files, check device for bad blocks, ok, create extended label and, čekaj, kaže, check this box to allow the display of international label to set device, icon creates autorun inf, 0 autorun, doviđenja, ništa, idemo, start. Yes, čekaj, nećemo ništa interneta. Warning, blah, list man exit, destroyed, ok, ajde, dobro. I onda ćemo vidjeti. Palo mi je na pamet da možda ono to, kad piše block loop i squash, ono moguće je live workstation koji se ne mounta ni instalira, ali bi se mogo, naravno može se. A bez obzira na to, to bi se trebalo najaviti, to bi trebalo se znati, ono, a ne da onak šupčinski ne možeš utjecati na to i da ti upozdini se. Pa ne mre to biti ono, namjerno, ne, da te oni bi to napisali, ovo ti se, ovo neke ne štima. So this is the hard disk. Actually, yes, the card reader, and here are those two switches, and you can hear them. It's the same as in this the HP, but it's not mounted. There it's like a separate part, but I will both keep it on if I can, and then if not, I will just like nails cut it off and see what happens. So the RAMs are out. Connection with electricity is here. No touchpad. This was the Wi-Fi, which is out, and here no hard disk as mentioned, and those two switches. So let's see if it boots without hard disk and RAM, just with electricity. If this is on, let's hope it turns on. At least it will turn on. It doesn't have RAM. Will it turn on? I think there is a blue light. There is a blue light, but the monitor isn't powering on. Okay. Okay, the RAM. Look at this. This is some sort of glitch, which is actually, it is a visual code, and he says no bootable device. That doesn't matter. We will find a bootable device, but the RAMs seem to be okay. So I'm inside, and we have to just change what I always change. Lid open disabled, no recovery, of course, no recovery. I will have to check this later when I put on legacy. Sometimes it changes. Okay, supervisor, blah blah blah, disable on boot, blah blah blah. Select UEFI, enter. No, I don't give a fuck. Erase secure boot setting, I don't give a fuck. Enabled, change TP MS state, disable. Okay, this is the but it means this is the reader, the card reader, but it needs to be okay. First disable this. Then legacy this. Yes, and then back to see what's changed and what's not changed. Okay, recovery was enabled and network was enabled. That's always happening, so we need to check this after going legacy. And then F12 has to be enabled. Without this you cannot jump directly after power. All disabled, recovery disabled, and now we're good to go. F10 and then F12. Okay, yes, and now F12 to get inside by before this motherfucker gets in. The screen is somehow damaged, but this is some sort of glitch. Okay, I think either way I will connect it to the HDMI, and we're getting into Linux, even though it's group 2, but there's nothing inside. This is the PC, which I already said. So only 2 GB RAM, SD card is hard disk, and no killer, no fan, no battery, no network card. And now I will switch the screen maybe to see the screen from HP. So I disconnected the screen, but I think I'm still on. So I will try to put another one, the new screen. Neće. Principu slični konektor, ovo ekran ne prepoznaje. My lovely zero hard disk, 2 GB RAM, and now it made a similar thing here. So this is the monitor, this is just connected for the power. There is no hard disk, this is bootable, and because the SD was really fat, here are the switches. Let me show. So the switches are here, and
what you want is to know if I heard the disgusting shit you're saying.
Let's see.
Come out and ask.
It isn't true.
You know what?
So does it boot? So basically this switch is bypassing the keyboard, but it's guaranteeing at least booting. So let's try to do this. It doesn't, the commands are not accepted, so this does work, but why doesn't the keyboard work? I don't know, maybe because this power lights on is the similar as on the other, and this I connected just to make sure to have some clock source. Okay, please no. Okay, but we will fix this. This is good. This is looking good.